The first race on the Warwick Farm program this afternoon is a 3-year-old maiden here over the 1100 metres, a competitive event to kick off the day. I'm with the top weight in Montserrat here for the Godolphin Yard. I know he finished 9th of 9 at Hawkesbury on debut, but he started $4 that day, and more importantly, he pulled up with a genuine excuse. He pulled up with cardiac arrhythmia, which is a complete forgive. Horses just never run well with it. It's a genuine excuse there. Has trialled well either side of that first up performance. Expect him to roll forward here, be hard to run down at the finish. I thought number 4, Hardo, was the danger, this Fastnet Rock filly. She's out of more Strawberries, a half to Mirror V, well-bred filly. Love the way she's finished off in a recent trial. She was a bit keen in that trial, but expect her to get back and find the line nicely here. 3, Elegant Grace, this Fastnet Rock filly as well. She went to the front and won a recent Cessnock trial by 3 lengths in okay time. Has to be respected here off that trial, and late betting, just monitor it here with those first starters, Hardo and Elegant Grace. We'll get a bit more of intel closer to the race. And number 5, Solid Foundation, best of the rest. 2 trials, jumped okay, closed off well for a second at Warwick Farm in the first trial, and then was given an easy time in the latest trial when fit there. Race 2 on the Warwick Farm card is a 3-year-old maiden here over the 1300 metres, and a pretty competitive event. This one, very tricky to dissect. I've lent the way of Cubed here for the Brad Widdup Yard. This Rubik filly, 3rd at Kensington last time out over the 1100 metres. Beaten less than a length that day. The second horse has come out of that race and won since, and I just think she might be looking for the 1300. Her 2 siblings won over 1300 and 1400 metres, so the family have handled the distance, and I think she might appreciate that a little bit further. Hugh Bowman rides from the inside draw. Number 6, Tri Nations, I think is the roughie in the race. Had similar late splits to Cube there in that same race when 5th at Kensington last time out over the 1100. He's really bred to appreciate the 1300, and even further, his mum's 6 wins came from 2000 to 2400 metres, so I think he's a horse to keep an eye on as he gets out in trip. 7, Rockarosa, a nice enough effort first up to finish second to Mirrorvision first up on the Newcastle track. There's been 3 winners out of that race, including the winner Mirrorvision going to the city and winning since. And number 1, Merino, found the line well behind Edison first up at Hawkesbury over the 1300. Stays at the same trip here, but should be finding the line strongly late. The third race is up next on the Warwick Farm card. It's a fillies and mares benchmark 70 here over the 1400 metres, and I like the look of number 1, High Shine here for the John Sargent Yard. Had 2 nice soft trials coming into this 5-year-old mare. She came a fair way in her first prep in Australia last time in. She won 2 of 3, including first up at 1300 at this track, where she was held up until the 200 metre mark, but closed off strongly to score. Second pick for me in this race, number 6, Vitesse. I think she's settling a bit better this time in. I like the way she settled behind Liz Dunvana when narrowly beaten there on the Kensington track over 1300. First up, she'll be better for that, and the extra 100 metres should be okay. Just drawn a little bit wide, so they probably want to find a little bit of cover with her to get her to switch off. But it'll be interesting to see the tactics there. They might be happy to roll forward and sit outside lead, but we'll see what they do there. Number 4, Black and Tan, finishing off really strongly last time out on the sunny coast. Actually had quicker late splits than Alligator Blood, who was beaten a pimple in the Caulfield Guineas, of course, since then, so have to respect that form line. And a 4th pick here at odds, putting in Kadar here, number 2 for the Chris Lees Yard. Is a horse that gets back, but has a nice turn of foot on her day. Race 4 on the Warwick Farm program is over the 2200 metres. It's a benchmark 70 here, and I found it probably the toughest race on the program. Leading towards the top weight, number 1, Executive Chairman, a last start winner over Kelvinside over the 2400 metres on the Kensington track. He drops back 200 metres here, but he's been in really good form of late, and I thought his second behind the Iron Maiden prior to that at Newcastle was full of merit, because he was basically 3 wide, no cover, worked mid-race, and then still gave a really strong kick at the finish and was only caught late in the piece. 4, Maybach, he's a really progressive staying type. He's won his past 2 over 2100 metres at Wyong and this track. He should take some running down again. I expect him to find the front. 10, the Iron Maiden, did beat Executive Chairman 2 starts back, and then was back to the 1900 last time out, and just found that a bit sharp. Will appreciate getting back out to the 2200 here. She prefers wet tracks, but she's been going great on good ground as well of late, and she's just a marvel, this mare, to be racing so well at 10 years of age. And number 2, Bay and Gold, best of the rest there. Blinkers go on, just beaten by Maybach the other day. 5th up here, he should be peaking. He hasn't won for a while, 480 days, but gets another chance here. The first leg of the quaddie is up next at Warwick Farm. It's an 1100 metre event here for the benchmark 70 horses, and I think Zushak looks hard to beat here, number 6. He's got some really good form lines down south. He won a maiden first up at Sale, then he won at Seymour, and then he went to Moonee Valley last time out, started $5, missed a kick and was held up in the straight, beaten a length behind Bakali there. And look, they ran similar time to Love and Gabby on the same day. The winner and the second horse both have form around the Caulfield Guineas winner in Super Seth, beaten just a length and a half or less behind that horse to start prior. So they look the right form lines. I know he's going to come back to Sydney and go the Sydney way of going, but he was educated in Sydney as an early horse, and I do think he has a little bit on his rivals in a race like this. Number 2, Tony's Reward, won well first up at Hawkesbury. They did run it to suit, though, that race, and there has been 7 subsequent starters out of that race for just the one placing. 1, Pakiri, well beaten first up, but comes through a strong race, which California Zimbo won. Then she went, of course, to Melbourne and beat Love and Gabby, so the form out of that looks good. He's a horse that if he jumped back to or he bounced back to his best form, he'd be right in a race like this. And number 3, Cardiff, had his chance, not far away at Caulfield last time out, was a Class 2 winner prior to that at Hawkesbury. And look, he's an each-way chance. I just think he's well enough found in early markets. The 6th race on the Warwick Farm program this afternoon is a benchmark 78 here over the mile, and it's hard to go past the favourite Romany Girl here, this 4-year-old mare. A really good winner first up at Canterbury over the 1250. She showed a really good turn of foot that day to score impressively in some of the best late figures of the day. And look, I know she goes 1250 up to the mile here, but she won over 1550 last time in. She has got a win over this distance range. She's also 4th in a Kembla Grange Classic over a mile back in March. So she looks to be a progressive mare, like the way she returned, and I think she'll have her turn of foot, I think, will be the key here to winning this race. Second pick for me in this race, California Longbow. I really liked his return. I think he's going to be a nice horse to follow this preparation once he gets out to 2,000 metres and beyond. Having said that, I still think he's classy enough to be really competitive here over the mile. 7, Pancho hit the line well fresh. We'll take a lot from that. Gets in nice and light with 53 kilos on his back and can only run well. And 3, Orsian, another one who found the line well behind Rancho Notorious first up. That horse has won since, franking the form, and expect him to appreciate the step up to the mile. Race 7 on the Warwick Farm card is a benchmark 70 here over the 1100 metres, and a couple of nice prospects going around here. One returning in the shape of Invinciano here for the Joe Pride Yard, and I want to lean this I'm Invincible mare's way. She won 2 races in a row to finish last preparation, her maiden at Kembla Grange, and then went to Nowra and won the Belle of the South there, a benchmark 66 by almost 2 lengths. I know she didn't beat a great deal last campaign, but I just like the way she went about it. She's trialled well this time in. She draws 1, she should box seat. And I thought with a little bit of improvement in this preparation, she would be the horse to beat. 6, Blazing Mist looks the danger. A Canterbury winner last time in. Wasn't far off Exceedance first up as well. Expect her to roll forward and be hard to get past at the finish. 4, Taken Everything is a horse that gets the blinkers on first time. Was 4 wide, but very disappointing at Goulburn Fresh, but did start at $2.70 favourite there. And is better than what she showed on that occasion. And number 9, Oxford Angel, best of the rest, put herself up on speed, was runner-up at Maruya last time out on the good track and just didn't handle the heavy prior to that. She has place claims up on speed. The last race on the Warwick Farm program is a benchmark 76 here over the 1300 metres, and I'm with a couple of on-pace runners here to round out the day, in great danger in particular for the Chris Lees yard. I like the way he's going about it. He's no superstar, this horse, but he's been runner-up at Canterbury 2-back and then 3rd at Eagle Farm last time out in a Class 3, where he just went a bit hard in front but was able to stick on strongly, beaten just a length there behind Taxi. The first and second horses out of that last race at Eagle Farm have both come out and ran well or placed in stronger grades since, so that's a positive as well. He gets the blinkers on. Expect him to roll forward and be hard to catch here. 10, Full Recognition. Like the way he's going about it. He was just on the wrong part of the track there behind Rancho Notorious last time out. I think he's a better horse than what he showed there, and being on the wrong part of the track, we definitely have to keep that in mind. Third pick here in this race, I've gone with number 11, Handfast. He's been closing off really well from the back at his past couple. I'm guessing they adopt similar tactics here because he's a horse that can lead if he wants as well. He does have plenty of speed, but they seem to have found the key to him now, riding him off speed. And 2, Murillo's been a bit disappointing in this preparation, but this is the easiest race he will contest for some time, and expect him to run a much better race than he has been of late.